Hey guys, Wild Willie here. Basically, I just want to talk about. I got a few questions about multi-tools and which one do I carry and stuff. And you know what? It doesn't really matter what I carry. It doesn't really matter what anyone else on YouTube carries. You know, Joe Blow can recommend, oh, this is the best one because of this. This is the best one because of this. That's their opinion, and it doesn't really matter. This video is kind of, do you even need a multi-tool? And if you are, what are the basics you should look for? And that's about it. First of all, I'm going to say that, if it's only once a week or less than once a week, you're rooting around or you're out somewhere and you need a screwdriver, need a pair of pliers, need this, need that, looking for stuff occasionally, don't even bother really with a multi-tool because you're not going to get the use out of it. The multi-tool is not for the bug-out bag, the just-in-case tool. I mean, you can get stuff that's cheaper and more variety than a multi-tool to use. A multi-tool is generally almost used every day. Or it should be anyways. And at the same token, you don't have to spend a boatload of money on one either. Some people, spend $200 and I think they're nuts. So just a couple things that I would look for in a multi-tool, and I think maybe you should do the same. And I'm going to go over them today. So most people, probably about 70 or 80% of the item being used on the multi-tool on a day-to-day use is the pliers. And right here in front of me, I got, three different types of multi-tools. I got an old Gerber, which is probably, God, I don't even know, 20 years old. Slides down like this. And then I've got, a Leatherman Surge, and then I got the Bear Grylls multi-tool. Not that I take a lot of stock in Bear Grylls product, but this Ultimate multi-tool someone gave me actually works good, and I carried that for a while and use that the most. So pliers being number one. You'll see the Bear Grylls one has spring-loaded pliers, which is handy because when you're picking stuff up like this and you got to move stuff around, you're kind of trying to open and close the pliers to readjust on a nut or something like that. I love the fact that these are spring-loaded. So you got them, you release tension, and it automatically opens up for you. I think that's a brilliant feature, and the pliers, since they're one of the most things used on a multi-tool, find a good head of pliers, and one, especially if they're spring-loaded. Next one, in my opinion, would be the blades and everything else. Make sure they're locking. Okay, when I mean by locking, like a locking knife, where they're not going to close shut on you. You'll see this old Gerber I have here, this ancient one. None of the stuff locks on it, and it just swings. And you don't want to be, working on something and this come down on your hand type thing. This is it's dangerous. You want stuff that locks. Okay, whether it be the straight edge, the serrated edge, the saw, the can opener, whatever. You want blades on here that you can pop out and they're going to lock on you and not have to worry about closing in. See, this isn't going anywhere. This has got a locking mechanism. Most multi-tools do lock now. This one does too. But I think that's number two. Have tools on there that lock. You do not want tools that don't lock. You can spend a lot of money on a multi-tool with tools that don't lock, and I think it's dangerous, it's stupid, and you're looking to get hurt. And I think the third biggest one, of course, is the accessibility of the tools, where you can access your primary tools like your blades and whatnot without having to open the multi-tool right up. This one here, you can access, 4 tools on this side, or 2 tools on this side, 2 tools on this side, and the same with most of the Leatherman. They have a lot of their tools where you don't have to open the product up to, or the things up to get to your main use tools. And the last thing I want to go over, guys, is write down on a piece of paper what the day-to-day stuff you're going to need on the multi-tool is. Whether it be, screwdrivers, Phillips, flathead, whatever, you pliers, and all. Really look at what you need. It's the biggest thing. You can go out and spend, like I said, a boatload of money on a multi-tool. It does 20 or 30 different tools, but there's no point if you're not going to use them all. If you're only going to use 3 or 4 tools on a regular basis, then get one smaller where that you can use 3 or 4 tools on. Overall, I really think I've had, for what these have to offer, I'm not going to break them down. There's no point. You can go on YouTube and watch all kinds of videos how they're broken down, what has what has, the other. The biggest thing is go on someplace like Amazon, type in multi-tool, and it'll list all the multi-tools that are around, and it'll show you what they have on them. Find one that's right for you and the stuff you're going to use. Myself, this was an original. This is still probably my favorite multi-tool. but I upped it a little bit. I found myself using it more and more and more around the house and day to day, so I upped something a little more stronger, a little more industrial. This is more the occasional use, weekend warrior type thing. This one here takes a little bit more of a beating. I found myself within 3 days, changing batteries in my son's toys, to crimping wires, to installing a ceiling fan, to have to tighten nuts, to you name it. Endless uses for me, but that's just me. Some people might not be like that. So really, find a multi-tool with a good head of pliers. I prefer the spring-loaded ones. Find a multi-tool where the blades lock. That is an absolute necessity. Find one possible that you can access the main tools without having to open up the whole multi-tool. And most of all, find one that suits you. Not what somebody on YouTube tells you, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. No, find one that's going to meet your needs. That's key. One, if you're going to use it on a daily basis or once in a while, something that has the things you need on it and not a lot of the things you don't. Anyways, I'm Wild Willie, and I got to get trucking. And remember, it's not a question if this shit hits a fan, it's a question of when. So always be prepared.